Let me set the scene for you. The homeowner was tense, distracted, barely looking up from their phone. So most reps would push harder, rush the pitch, try to control the outcome. But what if the most powerful move you could make was to do nothing but stay calm? No script, no pressure, just presence. Because maybe the real skill in sales is your ability to stay grounded when the buyer isn't. So, hey, Sam Wakefield here. Close it now. And we are in number three of this mini series that we are working on. So, this is the Energy Driven Sales mini series. It is a nine-part series. So far, we've explored episode number one, which was energy is the missing skill, the invisible driver behind every high performing sales conversation. Episode two was the container. Why the space you create before you speak determines what the buyer feels and how they respond. So today we're going to be digging into something that sits kind of at the core of both. It is, well, it's not kind of, it sits at the core of both energetic awareness and emotional leadership. This episode is about how to feel everything in the room without absorbing any of it, how to stay grounded, present, and calm, even when the buyer isn't. So, before we get into that, we've got a little bit of what's happening right now. What's in your cup? I've got hydrating this morning. This is super early morning. It is actually five something in the morning. I've got my water in my Close It Now bottle for all of you on YouTube. Like and subscribe and share with people. But I am in Grand Rapids, Michigan today. This week, I am training Flat River Electric coming up here with Mike and Heather Lott. And Mike Lott is the owner of Flat River Electric. Yes, you heard that right. I am working with an electric only company that does just electrical work. So, yes, we have expanded to electrical, we have expanded to plumbing. So if you own electrical, plumbing, HVAC, yes, we can work with you. The model is proven now, and so it is effective, and we are super excited to get Flat River Electric rolling and open some minds to show them what is possible and just start seeing some incredible growth here. So I'll keep you posted on that throughout the week. Make sure to go if you're not a member of the Facebook group, join the Close It Now Facebook group. I definitely, when I do travel trainings like this, I always do a lot of Facebook Lives, especially from the field, show you a lot of what's going on and how we train. We'll do some lives from the Facebook group. So let's get into this episode a little bit. Time is compressed a bit, so that I might run through this a little quicker than usual because I've got to get to the training. But I wanted to get this done for you because you are the reason I do this. So thank you for listening, everyone, in your Drive Time University today. So let's get into it. So, section one. The invisible game most reps are losing. This is what I titled this part of it. Every sales call has an emotional undercurrent to it. The problem is most salespeople don't really recognize it. Or worse, they get swept up in it. One, they absorb the buyer's anxiety. Whatever's going on in the house, you seem to absorb it. And most of the time, you don't even realize it. You don't recognize it. If you've never been made aware that this is a thing, you just fall into it. We start to mirror their stress, or we try to overpower the moment with being louder, with a faster pitch. But the pros notice the energy and then choose their own energy. They choose their own energy intentionally. The pros will notice it, but then you choose your own energy. You don't ride the emotional roller coaster, you anchor it. Because we've been taught for so long to mirror, 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 right? Mirror the energy, mirror the energy. But there is a big difference in awareness. So getting into this, one thing we have to understand is energetic awareness. Energetic awareness is more than just reading the room. It's about knowing how to stay solid when everything around you feels a little off. So let's break it down a little bit. There's a big difference between situational awareness and energetic awareness. Situational awareness is noticing what's happening physically. So body language, tone, time of day, all of that. That is situational awareness. That is what we're mirroring. With all the training you've ever heard about mirroring, that is what we need to do. So, you've heard like if there's talking fast, talk fast. If they're talking slow, talk slow. If they are high energy, be high energy. If they're low energy, be low energy. And the matching thing, because people buy from people they know, like, and trust, and they like people like themselves. So this is that ninja trick. And if you go way, 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 way back in one of the first episodes I recorded, this was the ninja trick I talked about. One thing at that time, and honestly, I've learned a lot since then about this. So that's why we're revisiting this a little bit, but it goes so much deeper than that because that is just situational awareness. The second part of this is energetic awareness. So what we need to do here, we have to tune into what's happening emotionally and subconsciously. So reading the room doesn't just mean noticing body language. It means feeling the temperature of the conversation without letting it spike your own. So here's some examples. When the buyer says they're just thinking, but they clearly feel rushed, they clearly feel unsure. Maybe there's a couple we've all been in the house. They're arguing while you're trying to walk through the proposal. One of them wants it, the other one is like just frustrated that you're even there, or something else is going on that they're arguing about. I mean, I have been in houses where they literally have gotten in almost fist fights, and I've had to excuse myself so they could take care of business. So, if you haven't had that happen, you haven't been in enough houses yet, because it will. So, the third one is like the homeowner who opens the door clearly distracted, short-tempered, or like, oh, I've got a meeting and this, in 20 minutes, hurry up. All of those things. Those are different things are going on. So in these moments, your energy has to become the thermometer, not the thermostat. And only one of those will lead. The thermometer leads, not the thermostat. So how do we lead the energy but also not matching the emotion? So here's your shift. You don't have to match emotion. You lead it. So I've got a three-step framework for you today that will help you to do this. Number one is feel it. We quietly recognize the emotional tone in the room. We don't label it, we just observe it. Just observe it. Number two is we have to frame it. We're going to use intentional language to acknowledge and soften the moment. And number three, we have to flip it. Redirect the tone by offering presence, safety, and calm. Okay, so we're going to flip it by being the thermostat. Again, don't be the thermometer and just gauge the room. Be the thermostat and control it. So here, I've got a couple easy scripts for you that are generic. They will be very helpful to you. You can come up with 1,000 of your own. In fact, if you want to, one of the things that I do when I'm about, brainstorming ideas for podcasts is we all know AI is a tool now. It will help you. It will help you load in what you're wanting to accomplish, what you're wanting to come up with, and it'll help you with ideas. So here's an example script number one. So, Mr. Miss Homeowner, looks like today has been a lot. Want to take a second and breathe before we get into the details? So here's why it works, though. It gives them permission to pause. The permission to pause is really crucial. We're leading with empathy, not pressure, And the silence that follows, that's usually where we really start to build a lot of trust because we're recognizing something is happening and then we're giving them a moment to reset. Number two, here's another script. Hey, we don't have to rush this. I'm here to help, not push. So let's just take it one step at a time and figure out what makes the most sense for you. And I love this one. This one, I actually let this one's my favorite. I've used this really, really often in the house or some variation of this. It's like, hey, we don't have to rush this. I'm here to help, not push. Let's take it one step at a time and see, and figure out what makes the most sense for you. So this one instantly drops the pressure. It sets the pace. It's like almost like a takeaway. It sets the pace. It tells the buyer, it tells that homeowner, I'm not here to close you. I'm here to guide you. I'm here to be your tour guide. So there's a couple examples. So the more you process this and think about it, I'm sure you'll come up with plenty of your own or feel free. And I know 100% give you permission. Use the exact verbiage if you want to. It is okay. A lot of times as salespeople, whatever role you're in, we have this natural tendency to instantly try to change it and make it our own because we have this aversion to scripting. Use it word for word. It's okay. I give you full permission. So here's how to lead the emotional rhythm of the room. So once we've done that, but because the main thing is when you're leading, you don't lead with dominance, you lead with emotional rhythm. And there's a big difference here. So here's some practical tools. One, slow your pace down. Let your words breathe. Take more time than you've ever taken. You've heard me say that a lot. Slow your pace a little bit. Lower your voice. Calm speaks louder than intensity. We'll say this all day long. Calm speaks louder than intensity. Let silence land. Start using a lot more pauses. Do not rush to fill the space. Get comfortable in the uncomfortable silences. And we've got to do a lot, especially here. Of course, a lot of check-in questions, but especially when things like this are going on, we need to really intentionally ask a lot more grounded questions. So, how does that feel so far? Or what's most important to you right now? Those are a couple good examples of some really grounded questions. So when you shift the pace, what happens is that buyer starts to follow. If you've if you've passed the moment of rapport, and if you don't know what the moment of rapport is, go back and listen to that episode. But if you've recognized and intentionally recognized that energy shift and you've noticed that moment of rapport, and you've passed it. So when you start to shift the pace, they are going to follow. They will lead you. They will follow you. You are leading. We're training our homeowners how to buy from us. So when we shift that pace, the buyer will follow. So here's a little snippet of brain science for you. The nervous system awareness. Think of cells like we could almost call it like emotional aviation. You're either piloting the plane or you're basically in the back bracing, hoping it doesn't crash. So when the buyer's dysregulated, stressed, scared, reactive, your job isn't to join the chaos. Your job is not to put on your parachute also. And you're like, oh, we're going down. Because I've absolutely done that so many times. Your job is to it's to stay calm. It's to calm the cabin. It's like a pilot flying through turbulence. This is top of mind for me because I just flew to Michigan yesterday and we had turbulence. So it's like the pilot flying through turbulence. You want to calmly speak into the intercom, not the one panicking in the cockpit. I hope you've never been on a flight where the pilot sounds panicked. Everybody loses it. I've been in that as well. It's no fun. Be the calm one. That's just a little bit of turbulence as we're flying through. This is what you're doing. You are the pilot of this. You can look at the entire appointment as, your flight and you're the pilot. When you model calm, they're going to feel it in their nervous system and sales resistance is going to start to drop. So grounding yourself before, during, and after the call. And so in order to do this, you've got to stay You have to stay focused. You have to stay grounded. How do we do that? Here's a couple ways that you can do that. They'll be very helpful. So, because grounded reps are trusted reps. Period. That's just if you're grounded, it shows confidence, it shows certainty, and you become trusted very quickly when you stay calm and focused. So, before the call, when you before you knock on the door, you can do this in your vehicle, in your van, in your car, in your truck, but I recommend when you walk up to the house, stop on the porch and take just a beat, take a deep breath, slow your body down, set your tone, refocus right there. Take a couple deep breaths before you ring the bell or before you knock. In fact, don't ring the bell. Knock on the door. Salespeople ring the bell, friends knock on the door. Knock on the door. But take a couple breaths first. During the call, while you're there, make sure be intentional. Recognize if your shoulders start to go up towards your ears, loosen your shoulders, relax them. Soften your tone a little bit. Hear the difference in my tonality shifted. Stay present, not just in your pitch, not just in your presentation, but stay present in your posture. Your posture controls a lot of the emotion of the room. So stay present in your posture. After the call, reflect on how you showed up. Not just whether you closed the appointment or not, not just whether you made the sale or not. Be very intentional to reflect on how you showed up during the appointment. Where did your energy go? Map it. Were you able to keep control of it? Were you able to stay calm in the storm? Sales doesn't reward intensity, it rewards alignment. So, here are some rituals and rhythms for consistency. What you do outside of the appointment determines who you are inside the appointment. You've heard me say this over and over. Sales is not the performance of an hour or an hour and a half or 2 hours. Sales is the overflow of a life. So here are some rituals to implement. Pre-call centering. You've got to, you can use music, you can meditate, you can use silence, sit in silence, I've always done two things before my appointments. One is I've set I have a whole thing about numbers. So before every appointment, I'd be around the corner and I would set a 7 minute timer. I like sevens. You can do 3 minutes, you can do 1 minute, but I set a 7 minute timer and I would just sit with my eyes closed and focus on the positive outcome. Focus on they're going to love me. This is the best presentation I've ever given. I know that I'm going to connect. And all of these thoughts are going through my head, and I'm just sitting in silence with a smile on your face because when you change your physiology, put a smile on your face while you're sitting in silence. It's going to feel weird at the first few times. Put a smile on your face while you're sitting in silence. Have your eyes closed, and your mind will react to it. You're going to start centering yourself, slow your breathing, get calm, get focused. And the other thing I always did, my anchor for years and years and years has been the song Walk by Pantera. After I meditate, I put that song on because now I'm centered, now I'm focused. Throw that song on, and all I have to hear at this point in my life is just the first few measures, the first few bars, and I am ready to go. Crank that car off, and I'm walking up, and I am ready to rock. Whatever you do, get yourself into a ritual that and a rhythm that will help you to constantly get in the perfect headspace every time. It resets. Even if you left a bad appointment, you left a bad call, or something else is going on in life, you can reset and get ready for your appointment this way. Number two, post-call reset. After your appointment, journal. You've got to take notes. You have to take notes. Document, document, document. If you're using a tool like Rilla or Zero or an AI recorder, there's a thing called Plod. And I highly recommend if you don't have the tools that are the big paid for tools, get your own. Get Plod. You can turn it on and record your interactions, turn it off, and then you can start to self-analyze better. But don't rely on just that. Actually go through the effort to take notes with your own hand, make your notes, and intentionally think through the appointment. Write down three things that were good and one thing that you want to improve on every single appointment. Then do a weekly energy audit. Be intentional about this in your life. Do a weekly audit. When did you lead? When did you react? When you start to become aware of these moments, then you can change them. The expression that's been around forever, especially in business, if you don't measure it, you can't manage it. So make sure to do your weekly energy audit because it's so important. Now, one of the things that with this is tracking your energy is just as important as your KPIs because one controls the other. You've got to track your energy as well. So start using a calm checkpoint before every appointment. It's so important. Now, here's your bonus. This is what happens if this is the cost of not leading the room. Okay. And raise your hand if this you've ever experienced these types of things. And this is how you recognize if you've fallen into this trap or not. So let's get real here. One is you're constantly drained. Objections start to show up early. Do objections show up early in your appointments? The appointments, they kind of feel like a tug of war, where it's like constantly pulling back and forth. If any of that happens, especially the drain part, when you get to the end of the day or the end of appointment and you're just freaking exhausted, that means you're not leading. You are fist fighting the whole way through. So you're definitely reacting if that's the case. So, what's going on? This is the true cost of it too. We've lost trust. The objections wouldn't be coming up early in the presentation if you haven't lost trust. They're longer, harder closes. You have to go through so many more objection handling at the end. And the strain on you, the emotional burnout, it gets so tough. If you're wiped out after every call, you're not leading with energy, you're surviving it. And that's a major difference. So, recapping real quick, number one is presence over pressure. Be present, be the calm in their storm, like we talked about last week, over pressure. Calm certainty is way more influential than being louder, bigger, talking faster. Don't force the appointment. Number two, energy over emotion. Recognize what's going on, but don't take it on yourself. Figure it out, then reframe it and be the leader. Number three, being grounded beats intense every single time. And if you want to know more about this, first of all, if you got some value from this, absolutely go to Facebook, leave me a review. Go to just search "Close It Now" in Google. Love it if you leave me a Google review. Apple Podcasts, leave me a 5-star review. Review me on Spotify. The more 5-star reviews I get, especially on Apple Podcasts and Google, the more people, of course, call me so I can train them and coach them because I do have coaching programs. I absolutely have some spots open in my one-on-one coaching calendar, and we are booking for your company this year. And if you want to really deep dive into these topics, make sure to get to Boston, May 6th, 7th, and 8th for the Ultimate Sales Transformation Boot Camp. Tickets are 50% off. We're going to stop calling it the BOGO price. They're 50% off. We just slashed the ticket to half price. You get one, you can get however many. You don't have to buy one to get one half price. They're half price. Get your team there. You get there. Go to closeitnowbootcamp.com. Again, that's closeitnowbootcamp.com. And we even have a way for you to finance it. Go to closeitnoweasypay.com and you can finance your ticket out, and it makes it super dirt cheap. So, closeitnowbootcamp.com, go get your ticket, come see us in Boston. And here's our final thought. Let's leave this episode with this before we sign off. So, you don't lead with what you say, you lead with how you show up. That's emotional leadership. That's energetic awareness. And that is what separates amateurs from pros. You go be someone worth buying from.